everybody to another Pokemon VGC discussion. It's me, Ketsu, and today we are talking about the Regulation J tier list. So as we know, Regulation J has been announced and we get to see mythical Pokemon for the first time ever in like 12 years, which is absolutely insane. But we're going to go through this little tier list here just to talk about what I think is going to be some of the better mythicals within Scarlet and Violet when they get released in November. It is going to be a super fun regulation in my opinion, and honestly, I can't wait to get a hold of these mythicals and use them for VGC. It's going to be a lot of fun. But of course, if this is the type of stuff that you enjoy and you want to see more of it, let me know by leaving a like down below and maybe hitting that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. But let's get started off here and talk about these mythicals. So we're going to start off with Mew here. I think Mew is going to be a solid B tier. I think Mew kind of sets like the foreground of what mythicals should be. Its stats are pretty even. It's got every move in the game. Psychic type isn't too bad. It's not the worst in my opinion. I think it's okay. I don't personally mind it. I think it's okay for the most part. Like, do I think it's going to be, you know, meta defining? Not really. I don't really think it's going to be anything too crazy like that. There might be some fun text to go with for Mew. You can make it a nice physical attacker. You can make it a nice special attacker. You can make it fast. It's not entirely, it's not the bulkiest Pokemon, but you can make it somewhat bulky. You can give it, you can do some stuff with Mew. There's some things you can do with Mew, but I don't think it's anything meta defining. I think it's just going to be one of those Pokemon that just kind of like chills there and just kind of waits. And I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of cool. I think Mew is going to be kind of cool. Next up is Jirachi. Now, Jirachi, I feel like it's going to fall into the same spot as Mew. It's decent. Steel Psychic is a solid typing for the most part. I don't really complain too much about that. The ability, though, isn't so great for Jirachi. It's Serene Grace, which is okay. I personally don't know much about Jirachi. I don't think there's too much to go with Jirachi. There's no defining factors there with Jirachi for me. I don't know. I don't feel like there's much there going on with Jirachi. I feel like it's an okay Pokemon. That I could also be very, very wrong on this one, but I don't think there's a lot there with Jirachi. Like, its main signature move, which is, I believe, Doom Desire. I think that's Doom Desire. It's kind of like Future Sight, but I think it's a Steel type Future Sight. It's not the worst. It's not the worst, but then again, you're not seeing Future Sight used in the metagame for a reason, and a Steel type one just doesn't really make much of a difference anyway, because you got to wait for a few turns. It doesn't really make much sense anyway, but I don't know. I feel like Jirachi, again, could be something, but nothing that I'm personally seeing right now. I think Jirachi is just like an okay Pokemon, to be quite honest with you. Next up is Deoxys, and we're going to go through all forms of Deoxys here, because again, we can use every single form of Deoxys inside the metagame right now. So Deoxys, normal form, I'm going to put at F. I'm gonna now, anyone who loves Deoxys, don't get me wrong, I also love Deoxys, but there is a huge reason why I'm saying normal Deoxys is at F tier, is because attack form Deoxys literally does everything that normal Deoxys can do but better. They have the same base speed, they have the same base HP, but attack form Deoxys hits a lot harder at the cost of being a lot weaker. But that is both their whole dynamic here. They are both glass cannons. They both have like 50 base like HP, and I think normal Deoxys has base 50 defense and special defense, whereas attack form Deoxys has base 20. It doesn't matter about the 30 points difference on either defense stat. You're getting one shot by a lot of things regardless. It doesn't help that they're both weak, like slower than Calyrex, so it doesn't really help, and that kind of dwindles it down quite a bit. But honestly, if I'm gonna want a glass cannon, I'm gonna want to just apply extra damage, because if I get that opportunity to apply extra damage where the speed doesn't change, I might as well. Like, there's no point of using normal form Deoxys here. Attack form Deoxys literally does everything that normal form can do, but so much better and hits so much harder. I don't really get why you would want to, because the bulk's not even worth having normal form Deoxys. Defense form Deoxys, I would probably put as a C tier. I think defense form Deoxys could be quite good maybe later down the line of the regulation, but honestly, I don't really feel like it's too drastic, because again, base 50 HP isn't great. It's not slow enough where it could be a really good contender in Trick Room. I think it's like base 90 speed. I think something along those lines. It's not good for a Trick Room defensive pivot, and it kind of falls into that dead speed category where it's not fast enough where Tailwind gives it that much of a benefit, and it's not slow enough where Trick Room gives it benefit. So it's kind of like that weird dead zone. It's that dead zone of speed, and it's not great. Like, normally for a dead zone of speed, you'd want like some type of offensive capabilities there, or at least, you know, unless you're running a stall team where it could be quite useful. I don't really think that there's much else going for it, to be quite honest with you. And finally, it's speed form Deoxys, where I also think it is going to an F tier. It's only like 30 points higher than normal and attack form, but way weaker. It's obviously not got the defense stats of defense, and it's just not great. Like, again, the only way I would put it higher on the list is if it was faster than Calyrex. it's not faster than Calyrex. It's like base 180 speed, whereas Calyrex, I believe, is like base... I'm pretty sure it's like base 1 or almost 200, right? It's close, it's around that line. Okay, I just checked, and it turns out it is faster than Calyrex. So this might change things a little bit. And it does get a ghost type move. It gets Shadow Ball, which can also work. So that's a pretty solid pivot. You know what? I'm going to put you a little bit higher here. In fact, if anything, I could put you a little bit over there because the speed is actually not that bad. A base 180 speed makes it one of the fastest in the format. So that's not that bad, actually. You know what? All right, speed Deoxys. I see. I could put, you know, I'm going to put you at high B. I think the speed would be really, really nice here. Like, you've got some countermeasures for you as well. Like, you've got the countermeasures. You've got a lot of good moves with you here for Deoxys. So, you know what? Deoxys, you proved me wrong. You proved me wrong. Okay, cool. Speed form Deoxys. I didn't think it's going to be meta defining. Not really. Because, again, it's still, like, kind of frail. But I'm down for that. I'm down for that take. Next up is Manaphy, and I'm going to kind of do Manaphy and Phione in kind of one shot here. Phione, basically the same reason as Deoxys, is going to be as F tier. Manaphy literally does everything that Phione does, but better. It's got better stats. It's literally same typing, but Manaphy literally just has better stats. Like, Manaphy is base 100 across the board, whereas Phione is base 80 across the board. I don't know what would possess you to use Phione, but Manaphy is like way, way, way better in every regard. Speaking of, it is better than Phione, but it's just not good. It's just not good. Like, the ability isn't too bad. Like, I know it gets Tail Glow, I believe, which could be something really, really cool. The ability being hydration means that it would probably be seen on rain teams, but again, if you're running Kyogre and Manaphy, that's two pure water types and there's like no benefit there otherwise. So I don't know. I don't know. Again, I feel like Manaphy could be a sleeper pick, but as I'm looking at it right now, I don't think Manaphy is going to be that great in a hindsight. I don't personally believe it will be that great. Because I just feel like there's a lot of other Pokemon here, like Urshifu's still going to be around, like Dondozo can still be a thing. I just feel like Manaphy's whole thing here is that it kind of runs the same thing as Mew, where it's kind of just like, it's kind of a water type that fits whatever purpose you want it for the most part, besides being like a slow Trick Room user. That's pretty much it. Next up is Darkrai, and I'm going to put Darkrai in the middle of B. Dark Void is going to be such a threat here, but honestly, because they nerfed Dark Void to make it 50% accurate, and I don't think Smeargle can copy it anymore. Or I think it can copy it, because we saw this on stream yesterday. I think Smeargle can still copy it, but it just can't use it. So it's just going to be a dead move for Smeargle, basically. So I feel like it's going to be okay for Darkrai. I feel like Dark Void is still going to be a move that's going to be, you know, clicked here and there. It can get paired up with Amoonguss quite well, but the only problem here is that Amoonguss doesn't tie in with Darkrai in terms of speed. If Darkrai was a lot slower, these two would be so in sync, it would be unreal. But I still think there'd be some good options there. Like, you know, you can still pair it with Smeargle. You can still pair it with Moody Smeargle and go for Spores, because Bad Nightmares would still kick in anyway. So it's not the worst type of duo still to make. It's just you're playing it a lot slower than going Dark Void, put them both to sleep, and then do something else. Now it's going to be most likely Spore one, like wait a turn, Spore the other, and then just kind of like pick at them one by one instead of going both at the same time. It slows down the pace, which I feel like is okay, but I feel like Darkrai with Smeargle, or at least with Amoonguss as well, could be something really, really heavy here, because at least with Amoonguss, you're not, like, Amoonguss is weak to Psychic, but Darkrai can clear Psychic, so it's not the way. In comparison to Smeargle and Darkrai both being weak to fighting, you've got something going for you there. You've got something going for you there, and honestly, I think it can be something. Just it's obviously not going to have the same potential as what it had previously. Next up is Shaymin, and we're going to go through both forms of Shaymin here. Shaymin, I feel like, is kind of an F tier here, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit better than Deoxys and Phione, because, again, it is its own thing. Natural Cure isn't exactly the best ability to have, especially for a mythical. In terms of a competitive aspect, I don't really feel like it's enough. It's just weaker than Shaymin Sky, and I feel like Shaymin Sky can be something as well. I feel like Shaymin Sky is going to be, like, maybe a C tier here, potentially. Like, I feel like Shaymin Sky could be, like, really, really good. I feel like Shaymin Sky could be something. It's got good access to Tailwind. Seed Flare is an okay move. Like, I feel like it's got a lot of capabilities here, and the fact that it's got Serene Grace as well, Seed Flare can actually do a lot of good stuff here. There might be some tricky techs here, there could be something, but like, yeah, I don't know. We'd have to see how Shaymin Sky kind of falls into this here. Next up is Arceus, and I'm gonna say straight away, Arceus is an S tier Pokemon. Arceus is gonna be an S tier Pokemon because it can do so much. It does what Mew and Manaphy does, but so much better, because the stats are so much better. It's 120 across the entire board, and it's It's got almost every move in the game. It is such a threat. It is such a good threatening Pokemon. Like, it can be a fast sweeper, it can be a slow sweeper, it can be a wall breaker, it can be slow support, offensive support, fast support, and on top of that, you can make it any typing you want to with the plate. So if you're sitting there going like, oh, well, I need a special attacking fire type, that's not Chi-Yu, you can run Arceus. It's like, oh, I want a physical attacking water type, that's not Urshifu or Dondozo, water type Arceus right there. Like, you've got all of these good measures here for Arceus, and it's so good because you have so many options for Arceus that it is absolutely insane. I've seen some people saying like they're gonna run Perish Song Arceus as well, which is going to be oh so devastating, because I think it's probably going to be the bulkiest Perish Song setter. I think so, don't quote me on that one, but I think it's like one of the most bulkiest Perish Song setters, or at least one of the fastest on top of that, without needing, you know, speed boosting capabilities like Screamtail or things like that. So it's not the worst. It's not the worst. So I'm gonna very much enjoy using Arceus. Like, Arceus is going to be really, really fun. I need to go and get Arceus from Legends as well, which is gonna make me cry every step of the way, but I'm very excited to see how Arceus plays out here. I think it's going to be super, super fun, and I think there's going to be a lot of different ways to use Arceus, and it's going to be fun to see every single style of this. Right, now we've got both forms of Keldeo. I don't really think Keldeo is going to be that great. I think Keldeo is going to be a little bit mid. I think, again, same thing with Mew. I think Keldeo is going to be like that middle ground of like Pokemon there. I don't see it, you know, winning anything, but I don't see it not being used in teams. I kind of see it as that weird middle ground of things right there. Another water fighting type isn't too bad. I think it's got higher special defense stats than Urshifu, which isn't too bad as well. Again, it's something to actually rival Urshifu for a change, which is great. Like, it's another water fighting type option that's not Urshifu, that's actually could be worth something. So it could be worth something. I don't know. I feel like Keldeo could have a little bit of a good play here, and the fact that you also get Sacred Sword, and I think its special move is Secret Sword. I don't know what its secret move does, or Secret Sword does. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but I think Keldeo could be absolutely amazing here. And again, it's a really good not Urshifu option for a water or a fighting type. Next up, we have Meloetta, and we're going to talk about both forms of Meloetta as well. Granted that only you can only run the normal and psychic form whenever you're selecting a team, and then you have to use Relic Song to get I believe it's Pirouette form inside the game. You can't start the game off with the normal and fighting type form. So we're going to talk about both here because they can both have some good viability here within the metagame. I think the normal psychic form, honestly, I think both of them could be really, really good here. They get Serene Grace, which is really nice. Their special ability, or their special move, sorry, Relic Song, not only swaps their form over, but gives them, I believe, like a 10% chance of going to sleep, and with their Serene Grace ability, it goes into 20, which is really, really cool. So 20% chance of going sleep every single time you transform could give you something here as well, and it could pretty much give you a nice way to, you know, swap out techs here. So if I'm sitting there and I've got, like, you know, a Pokemon like Rillaboom that's got U-turn ready to hit Meloetta, I could use Relic Song, switch into fighting type, and instead of being weak to bug, I am now resistant to bug. And then if I'm sitting there with an Urshifu looking right at my Pirouette form going for a close combat, I could just swap that over. Instead of being weak to fighting, I am now neutral to fighting. There's a lot of good ways that you can kind of like swap everything over here, and it works as well as a bait. Like, it really works as a good bait on top of that too. So the fact that, like, you know, they could be like, well, I know you're going to switch into psychic form, so I'm going to do a bug type move. I'm not going to switch, and I'm going to do something like a close combat, and you're just going to tank this blow, and I'm going to get a resisted U-turn at me. There's a lot of good strats you can do here. There is a very, very good amount of strats you can do here, and I believe you do have that option as well of going between a special attacker or a physical attacker depending on what you want out of Meloetta. So I think there's a lot of good stuff here for Meloetta, honestly. So I would probably say Meloetta is going to be a cheeky tech here, where it's going to be an A tier. I think both of them are just on the same category there. The ability to swap between both of them is just really, really good here. Serene Grace being able to boost up everything as well. 20% chance of sleep for your signature move is quite nice. I think it's great. I honestly think it's a really, really good tech here. I think it's a good Pokemon. I think it's a nice tech. Next up is Diancie. Now, Diancie, I think, is going to be a native Pokemon. I think it's going to be one of the best Trick Room Pokemon that we're going to get. It has a base 50 speed. I think it is on the same par as Calyrex, I believe, which is always a good thing. On top of that, being a rock type, you get super effective damage on Calyrex, which is also really, really good here. And because of this, you get a good type triangle as well of Ice type Ice Rider Calyrex, ground type Ursaluna, and a rock type Diancie. You get that very good triangle effect there. So I like that. It's a very good way of getting a balanced Trick Room here. And the fact that it also learns Trick Room. And it's just a really good Pokemon. It's super bulky. It's super slow, so it's good in Trick Room. It's got a really good typing to fight against other Calyrex, which is, again, just super good to have. Like, I believe it's going to be really, really good to have. The fact that it also gets Body Press as well. There's a good tech that you can make here. We're giving it Electric Seed and then putting on Electric Terrain with Miraidon. It's just going to be an absolute beast on the field with Body Press. You have a slow Trick Room Body Press user that's actually going to be quite viable. High defensive stat and a +1 thanks to Electric Seed. Then you still do the same strat. You Volt Switch Miraidon, bring a slow Pokemon in, set up Trick Room with Diancie, and you're good to go. You're really good to go. And then you just Body Press. You can do Helping Hand Body Press, or you can do all these cool things with Diancie. I think it's going to be really good. I think Diancie is going to be absolutely amazing, especially in Trick Room. After that, we've got Hoopa, and we're going to talk about both individually because, again, both of them can do their own thing individually. Hoopa being able to be the special attacker here, Psychic and Ghost as well. I love Ghost type Pokemon as well, so I love Hoopa. Hoopa, I feel like is going to be kind of a beta here, only because Hoopa Unbound I believe is a little bit better, but Hoopa I feel like does have some quite good, you know, usefulness here. Yes, the base stat is a bit lower, but it kind of like coincides with that because of the typing. Being part Ghost means you're immune to Fake Out. You are the slower version of the two, because I believe Hoopa Unbound is base 80 speed, whereas Hoopa Confide is base 70 speed. It's a little bit better in Trick Room, not exactly the best user of Trick Room, but it's better than what we get. Their defensive stats aren't exactly great, so I feel like for the most part you're kind of restricted into using either Electric Seed or Grassy Seed with like Rillaboom or Miraidon. It's not the best option unless you want to invest a ton into your defensive stat. There's not really much else you can do because the defensive stat is really, really bad. And again, you've got things like Incineroar running around that can hit Hoopa for really good damage. You've got like all these other really, really strong Pokemon that would love to hit you for physical attacking damage. So unless you really want to rock it with Incineroar, or like a way to boost up your own defense, like either through coaching or through the Electric or Grassy Seed, there's not much there you can do. It is going to be tough. It's going to be very, very tough. But speaking of Hoopa Unbound, I think Hoopa Unbound is going to be a lot better than Hoopa. I think, honestly, it's going to be a very underrated pick. I think Hoopa Unbound is going to be a very, very underrated pick here. My whole reasoning for this is that both of them have a very good special ability, right? They both have, it's basically Urshifu, right? Where you can just hit through a Protect. That's basically the most part. But for Hoopa Unbound, there's a drawback where you lose a defense point, where it's not exactly the best. But then again, if you've already got low defense, right? So like you're probably going down to most attacking, like physical attacking moves anyway, so the -1 defense doesn't really give that much of a disadvantage to you, because getting hit with a physical attacking move, you're most likely going down for the most part anyway, so it's not the worst to come across. But Hoopa Unbound has way higher physical attack stat. You can give it Clear Amulet, that way you can, you know, you can run things a lot better here. And if you got a coaching Pokemon, I think coaching with Hoopa is going to be an absolute beast on the field. I think it's going to be an absolute beast. If you've got a coaching Pokemon, I think this thing can be an absolute beast. There's some shape or form that I'm thinking about as well with Hoopa. One of the main Pokemon that I'm using right now in Regulation J, or at least looking at, is Hoopa Unbound, because I feel like it's going to be a very, very good Pokemon here. A very, very good offensive option here for Hoopa. And it's got a lot of good moves too. It's got some pretty good standard moves. It's got like Drain Punch. You've got like a few good things to help check yourself, right? Like you've got some leverage. You've got Gunk Shot as well for fairy types, which again can be pretty nice here. You've got some good options. You've got some really, really good options here. I think Hoopa is very, very nice. I said Volcanion because I'm looking at Volcanion there, which is a good segue to talk about Volcanion. I think Volcanion is going to be a very underrated pick. Low-key, I think he's going to be a very underrated pick. Being a fire and water type, there's no other typing like it, and it is a very, very good way to check the entire type triangle. I think it is a very, very good way to check the triangle, because you're resistant to fire, you're quad resistant to fire, you're neutral to grass, and you're neutral to water as well. But on top of that, you have water absorb, which means if you was to get attacked by a water type move, you would just replenish HP. So technically, the only thing out of the original type triangle that you're getting hit by is grass. And that's not that bad, considering that you are part fire type, and you run things like flamethrower, heat wave. Like Volcanion's got it like that. I personally think Volcanion is going to be such an underrated pick. It is going to be absolutely insane. You're quad resistant to, you know, steel type moves, so Zamazenta's gonna have a rough time. Zacian's gonna have a rough time as well, especially Zacian, because Behemoth Blade and Play Rough you're both resistant to. you're going to have a really, really hard time with Zacian. So I think Volcanion is going to be absolutely amazing. I think Volcanion is going to be like one of the best that we get. I think Volcanion is going to be one of the best that we get, in my opinion. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. Like the Terra typing, I'm not even sure what Terra typing you'd put it at. Maybe Terra Fire would be pretty cool to get an extra boost, because again, you've got water type coverage against ground and rock types, and water typing, you've got water absorb, so you're not even getting hit with that. I think Volcanion is going to be very, very underrated here. It's going to be such a really, really good Pokemon here, and I feel like it's going to be so underrated. And it's going to work so well as well in both Sun and Rain teams. I think it's going to be great. Next up is Magearna, and Magearna I think is going to be an ST Pokemon. We could do both forms of Magearna. It doesn't really change much there. Like, Magearna is fine. So Magearna having the ability Soul Heart is really, really good. So when I first looked at it, I thought it was kind of like Calyrex's one, right? Where it gets a +1 boost every time you take out, every time you get a KO on your opponent's Pokemon. What I didn't know is that this also applies to your own team. So if your own team faints, you also get a +1 boost, which is absolutely insane. So you get a +1 boost no matter who drops on which side of the field. This thing has the potential of sweeping the game, and the fact that it also has good tendencies of being a good Trick Room Pokemon as well, this thing is absolutely ballistic. I love this thing. This thing is going to be such a dominant force, and I'm pretty sure this thing is going to be one of the main mythicals that we see in the meta when it drops in November. I think this thing is going to be absolutely insane. My whole opinion, I think this thing is going to be absolutely insane, and I cannot wait to see Magearna rock so many sweeping games. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be absolutely insane. After that, we have Zarude, and we're going to do both forms of Zarude because Dada Zarude doesn't really change anything. It's got a scarf. That's pretty much it. But Zarude, I feel like, is going to be like Volcanion. I think it's going to be low-key slept on. I think Zarude is going to be low-key slept on because it does have good tendencies of, you know, healing. Jungle healing is going to be, you know, a really, really good move there. The grass and dark typing isn't too bad. It's quite fast. It's quite strong. It's got respectable bulk for being, you know, a somewhat attacker. It's not that bad. It's got some good potential here. Its moveset is quite vast. This moveset is quite unique. It's quite nice. You've got U-turn, Petal Blizzard, you've got Throat Chop. It's a shame you don't get Sucker Punch, because if you got Sucker Punch, this would be a very, very good anti-Calyrex counter, because you've just got so much potential going on for you. Honestly, I feel like Zarude could be really, really good. It could work well on stalling teams. I think stalling teams would work really well with Zarude because you could just keep healing, and the fact that you're part dark, you're immune to Prankster, so you can't get encored or you can't get taunted thanks to, like, from Tornadus or Whimsicott. I think this is going to be fine. I think Zarude would actually be low-key underrated, in my opinion. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on Zarude. I think Zarude is going to be absolutely great. And then finally is Pecharunt. Now, Pecharunt, I have also wanted to try out. I just don't exactly know where to put this thing. I don't exactly know what to make of this thing, but I think Pecharunt is going to be one of those Pokemon where its whole gimmick is going to be stalling. It's not faster than Calyrex, which is a shame. It's kind of that almost weird dead zone where, again, it's like base 88 speed, so it's not the fastest to use in Tailwind, but it's not the slowest to use in Trick Room, so it's kind of weird. It's that weird kind of dead zone category there, so you're kind of relying on bulk. The Malignant Chain and its ability, Toxic Puppeteer, it's not that bad. Like, I think it's quite fine, but again, I think its whole gimmick is that it's going to stay as potentially just this, you know, really annoying stall type Pokemon. It's like, I'm just gonna poison you, you get confused and maybe you hit yourself one time, you get confused and maybe you hit yourself one time, and I'm just gonna sit here and just watch the poison kind of tick away, just watch it tick-tock away, and then, you know, whenever the rest of my team wants to come in and sweep, they can come in and sweep afterwards. That's pretty much the standpoint of where I'm going for that, but I think it's okay. I don't think it's too bad, but like, again, I don't really know where to fit it. Like, my first initial thought was like, oh, put it in like stalling teams like Dondozo and Tinglu, and, you know, maybe, you know, things like Ice Rider with Leech Seed and all these other factors here, but I don't really know. I don't see it past a stalling team, but I'm gonna put it in that middle ground of B. I think the mid ground is kind of like a good way for it because I think it has potential. I just don't know what that potential holds. I don't really know. I'm gonna put Mew in the middle here because, again, Mew is like that middle ground. Yeah, once before, Mew in the middle, once before. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of my opinion here on this Regulation J tier list. What do you guys think of it as well? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite mythical is and what you're excited about for Regulation J. And I will catch you guys, fingers crossed, in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all later. Okay, bye.